please, I'm begging you, do not make this mistake in Season 2. In Season 1 of Marathon, I spent so much time leveling up the wrong upgrades, and by the time I realized it was already too late. It'd only take a couple bad runs, then I'd just instantly be out of weapons, and Lord forbid, ranked goes on a different map, and I don't have the snipers to purchase. And don't even get me started on all the consumables that there are in the game. So if you start looking at all these upgrades and all these factions, and you're just super confused and don't want to make a mistake that's going to potentially harm you later down the line, well, I got great news for you, because today, me and you, we're going to fix that right now. There's been some major changes to how character progressions work, and I want to touch on those before we go into factions, mainly because in the last season, they were one and the same. So instead of completing contracts like this, and going to your upgrades to get character upgrades, you'll now go to the main menu here, you'll go to shells, you'll pick whichever shell that you want to pick, and then you'll go access cradle. So it's in this area of the menu where you can get more melee damage, for instance. You can see here, each one of these nodes that you unlock, you get a little bit more melee damage and a little bit more finisher siphon. Just say we go to endurance, here's where we build our heat capacity. And all of these have different things that you can upgrade. Now notice, once you get to these kind of nodes here, you actually unlock different perks that can be useful depending on what type of build that you want to run. In my opinion, this is way better than the old system because you get way more customizability with each shell that you want to run. It's pretty cool. Okay, so now here's the big question. Which upgrades are the best and what should you prioritize? And there's two options that are going to work for you. Either you buff what your character has or you buff what your character doesn't have. So it'd make a ton of sense if you play Destroyer to buff dexterity, endurance, and strength. Dexterity helps you run faster, endurance increases your heat capacity, and the strength increases your melee damage, which is already crazy high. But it would make just as much sense to buff your resistance and your recharge, because part of Destroyer's whole MO is getting into fights and then getting out. So if he dashes in, he dashes out, the quicker you can heal, the quicker you can go back in and fight. I'm not gonna sit here and explain everything. Like, we all have common sense. We have jobs here, right?
Nope.
Marathon upgrades priority list for people with jobs. Okay, so we're gonna break this down into must-have, next step, like to have, and as you need it. I look at the upgrades like this. Which upgrades allow me to snowball from one thing to the next thing very quickly? The faster you can accumulate credits, the easier the rest of the upgrades are. And for the must-haves for Cyber Acme, we have Informant, Petty Theft, and Implant Stock. The Informant upgrade allows you to increase data card credit rewards by 50%, making it super easy to get more credits. The Petty Theft Implant synergizes really well with that. Again, when you're just starting out, it's super important we build our credit wallet as quickly as we can. And talk about snowballing. Implant Stock allows you to buy more of these using salvage and credits. Now let's head to the next step. Greenbags Barter and Greenbags Purchase is going to be your best bet here. This is going to allow you to get a ton of loot every single run that you have. And it's going to make a lot of sense when we start talking about our like to haves, our lockbox keys, deluxe keys, and the blue backpack barter. If you can run keys early in the game, bro, you're going to be flying through the upgrades. Get expansion, credit limit, and the purple backpack as you need it. Brother, do not waste getting more vault space if you do not need it. Next, we're going to talk about NuCal. Remember, it's about snowballing. We have our credits, we have our storage. Now, the longer we can last in the map, the more loot we get, the quicker we do the upgrades. We're going to start with Safeguard and Restore, and we're going to try to get this shielded barter as quickly as we can. One of the worst feelings in this game is having to go to a completely different map and freak it because you ran out of heals. Our next step is the Implant Stock, which is going to allow us to buy the implants, all the advanced shields, the shield stock, and the patch and the panacea stock. This section of the upgrades is building our reservoir for when we have big runs that do not go right. Our like to haves is the signal jammer, mechanics kits, OS debug, and pretty much all the nuclearic implant. They're actually pretty good, and I would recommend getting them at some point. As you need it is the antivirus. You don't have to get it right away, but if you feel like, hey, I want to do a lockdown today, why not? This is a must-have, but later. Blue and purple shields, panacea kits, and self-revives. You're going to need this, just not right now. If you've ever been to Cryo Archive, you already know what's coming next. Grenades, buy them. There's no nuance to this. And what a surprise, the next one you need to get just allows you to buy more grenades. I have zero idea if this is good advice or not, so if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But the equipment perks might be useful because it says you can buy equipment in the armory. I don't know what equipment is, but what I do know is that Mida implants are low-key really, really good. There's actually a torso implant where if you hit somebody with a grenade, they get pinged. What did I tell you about these grenades, man? If you're on this part of the flowchart by now and you're at Mida level 28, I feel like you're at the but later portion So I didn't really put anything here. Now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have put the implants in the must have but later section, because that's pretty late game. I'm not redoing this though. I'm in too deep already. Remember earlier in the video when I said that not having certain things unlocked screwed me over big time later in the season? Traxxas is super easy. There's no must have weapon or attachment in this faction, but you literally have to unlock everything else if you want to go to cryo. So must have but later, literally everything. You gotta finish Traxxas. Secgen and Arachne doesn't really have anything super useful for me to actually make a flowchart. Just make sure at some point you get the energy amps. First Law implant is pretty sick too, and unless you just really like railguns, there's no real reason to get anything in Arachne. And finally, one last tip to make everything way easier: go to which ones that you want to actually complete. Make sure you press R to track all of these salvage, right? So literally you go through every single one that you want to do. Even in the new caloric ones, you could do the same thing. And then when you come back here, you hit escape, you could actually see the ones that you tracked. And as soon as you loot something, it'll pop up. So if you're confused, you don't have everything memorized, as soon as you loot, just pick up all the ones that have that little green eye symbol. It makes it way easier. Oh my god, bro, this video took forever to film. You have no idea how like many times I just had to repeat the same sentence over and over again. And just so you know I'm not lying, bro, just so you know I'm not lying, fam, I'm in a whole nother like outfit right now. I'm in a whole nother fit right now. The first time I made the video, it was kind of bun, so I had to like re-record a bunch of stuff. So if you're here at the end of this video, bro, I appreciate it. No, like I really do, because I had no idea, you know, the YouTube would actually like go this far. Like this is my first time kind of doing YouTube, kind of, you know, really actually putting out content. So if you want to see more content like this, like, follow, and suggest other things you want to see. All right, I need to go. Peace. You know, I make content. I try to make content for people who have like jobs.